Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to be making this palazzo pants with front zipper fly and side pockets. So if this is something that interests you, kindly stay tuned to the end of the tutorial. Thank you. So the beginning of this fabric is what is our waistline. Then this line here is the hip line, then the crotch depth. So to get the crotch depth, you divide your hip circumference by 4, then you add half an inch allowance to it. Then the other line right here is the length of my trouser, and I added 1.5 inch for any allowance. So when I wanted to mark my hip line, I threw away 2 inches from the waistline. So I placed my tape at 2 inches on the waistline, then I marked my hip line and my crotch depth. The reason why I did that is because we are going to be attaching band to this trouser. So that 2 inches is what we are going to use as our band. Then when I wanted to fold my fabric, I folded it in with my thigh measurements divided by 2, and I added 2 inches extra allowance to it. So that's that about that. So the next thing we are going to do now is to go ahead and measure our hip circumference divided by 4 on both on the waistline, on the hip line, and on the crotch depth. So when I finish measuring that, I'm just going to join it together with a straight line like so. So on the crotch depth, I'm going to measure my thigh circumference divided by 2. My thigh circumference is 32.5 inches divided by 2, that's 16.25, and this is what I am marking here. So once I mark that, I will go to that diagonal side, that's angle 90, and I'll go up by 1 inch. So after that, I'm going to connect that together down to my hip line like so. So if you have a curve rule, you can use it. I have a curve rule, but I just wanted to show you that you can use your free hand for it. So after joining that, I'll go to the waistline. So on the waistline, I'll place my tape at the hip measurement there, and I will insert my waist circumference measurement divided by 4. Then I will add 1 inch for that allowance and 1 inch for seam allowance. Then I'll take my curve rule and just curve that measurement down to my hip line like so. So once I connect that to the hip line like that, I'll go ahead now to measure where my darts will be. So that is what I'm doing there. So after measuring it, I'll go to my crotch depth and add 1 inch to my thigh measurement as seam allowance. Then I'm going to extend that down to the trouser length, straight down, because it is a palazzo trouser. But if you don't want yours to be as wide as this, you can just curve it a little bit. So the next thing we are going to go ahead and mark now is our zipper fly. So I'm going to mark 2 inches from the waistline to the hip line. Then I'm just going to go ahead and curve it to that 1 inch that we came out with at the diagonal line the other time. So this is our zipper fly that we have formed. So I'm just going to mark half an inch at that center part of the trouser. So once I mark the half an inch, I'm going to extend it to the length, the side of our trouser, which is going to serve as our trouser slope, like the waist slope. So that is what I just did now. So the next thing is to go ahead and cut it all out. So guys, this is our front panel. This is our front panel of our trouser. So go ahead now to cut the back panel. So to cut the back panel, I've already folded my fabric into 2 again, and this time around I added like 4 extra inches to what I marked at the front panel the other time. So I'm just going to go ahead now to align the front panel to the back panel, making sure that I leave about 2 inches at the upper part, and I'm going to fold in the zipper fly. So the next thing I'm going to do after aligning it is to extend my crotch extension line, because we are going to be adding about 2.5 inches at the crotch extension at the back. The reason why we are adding this is to accommodate our butt. So at the center part, we are going to add 2 inches also to connect to that crotch extension part. So the 2.5 inches that I came out with at the crotch extension part depends on your size. If I have smaller size, you don't need to come out up to 2 inches. Up to 2.5 inches, 2 inches is okay, but if you are big, you can go for 3 inches. So at the waistline at the center of the back, I'm going to go up by 1.5 inches, and I'm going to like curve that to the side of my trouser, like so. Then I'm going to I'm going to go ahead and mark 2 inches at the side of my back panel, like so, and I'm going to connect it to the crotch extension. Then I will extend my dart line, and I've done that. So this is what we have. You can see it's very easy to draft the back panel. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut it all out now. So after cutting it out, the next thing we are going to work on, this is what we have after cutting it out. So I'm going to set this aside, and we'll start working on our pocket. So I've gone ahead to cut my pockets. I've cut 14 inches by 14 inches. So and I cut 2 pieces for the 2 sides. So the next thing I'll go ahead to do now is to stitch my crotch line. So for the back panel, I'm going to stitch from the down parts excuse me, I'm going to stitch like so for the back panel. However, for the front panel, before I stitch my crotch line, I'm going to measure where I want my zipper to stop. So I want my zipper to stop at 8 inches. So I'm going to first of all measure that 8 inches first. So when I measure the 8 inches, that is where my crotch stitching will stop. So I will stitch from that down part to that 8 inches with half an inch, and I will stitch the back panel also with half an inch. So after stitching, this is what I have for the back panel. So this is our front panel. As you can see, we have stitched down the crotch depth at the crotch side, and this is how it looks on the wrong side. So the 2 inches for our zipper fly on both sides of the front panel is looking like this on the wrong side. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to attach the zipper to the zipper fly at the front. To do that, I will shift my front panel, I'll turn it to the front, then I'll lift one part of the front panel the way I lifted it now. Then this is the zipper I'm using, so I'm going to unzip it and look for the side that I want. I'm going to mark 2 inches straight down to my crotch depth, like so. Then I'm going to go ahead and place my zipper on the 2 inches and pin it down. If you are using a zipper that is joined together, what you have to do is to make sure that the side that goes where the zipper goes to the other side, that is where you are pinning down. Do you get? So after pinning it down, I'll take it to my machine and stitch it down on that 2 inches line that I marked now, like so. So I will stop at that crotch depth. So this is what it looks like after stitching it down. So the next thing I'll do is to attach the other side. So to attach the other side, I'm going to flip it to the wrong side. So after flipping it to the wrong side, I'm going to measure 1 inch from the folded parts. Remember, where it is folded is where the 2 inches starts. So from that folded part, I will mark 1 inch. Then I'll place my zipper to it. So because I'm using two separate, I separated the zipper, I have to turn it to the right side again and insert the zipper into it so that I'll not go and stitch wrongly on the fabric. Do you get? So we are using a zipper that is attached together. This one should be easy for you. So once I join it together like this, I'll turn it over to the wrong side again. Then I will make sure that I place the other side on the 1 inch like so. Make sure that when you are aligning it, align it the way you aligned the other part you already stitched down. So I'll pin it down like so again. So once I pin it down, I will flip it to the right side again, because this side is the side that we overlap the other side, so the stitching of this one will show on the right side. So I'm going to like trace the pin parts. I'm going to trace the pin part out on the outside like so. So I will know how to stitch it. So I will trace it out like so. Then once I almost reach the end of the zipper, I will just curve it slightly this way, because the stitch is going to show on the right side. So I'll go ahead now to stitch it like this. So after stitching, this is what we have. So you can see it's very easy to make this. So I'll just cut away this excess. So it's very easy to make this zipper fly. I just learned this method recently. So the next thing I'm going to do is to fold my fabric into two and align the dart sides together. Then I'm going to just notch the dart line, because I'll go ahead and take in the darts for both the front and back panel. So now it's time to work on our pocket. So we'll lay our two pieces of pocket on each other. Make sure that it is right side facing right side. So just pick one side because all sides are equal. Then pick one side, mark 1.5 inch at the upper part, then 7 inches at 7 inches at the side. Then you are going to slant it towards each other like so. So after slanting it, you are going to cut it out. So the reason why I said you should make sure the pockets are facing each other right side is because you know we are using this for two different sides, so there will be no mistake. That's why you should do that. So I will now place this on one side of my front panel, and I will cut it out as well. So I will do the same for the other side as well. So once I do that, I'll place my pocket. I'll place one piece of the pocket. Right side should be facing the right side of my front panel, and stitch it down. Then I'll top stitch. I'll do the same for the other side and iron. So after that, this is what I have. I've already taken in the dart from my front and back panel, and I've pressed down my top stitch on my pockets. So the next thing I'm going to do is to align the down parts of the pockets to each other like so. Make sure that you align them properly. If you want to curve it, you can curve it. Then I'll just sew it down like so. Then after sewing it down, I'll weave the inside so it will be firm. Then after doing that, I'll now flip it like this again. So I'll make sure I align it at the sides and at the top, and I'll stitch the top like so, like this. I'll stitch it like this. Then the side part as well, I'll stitch it down. So I'll do the same for the other side as well. So guys, after doing that, this is how our front panel is looking like now. We have fixed our pocket and our zipper fly. So this is the pocket 1 and this is pocket 2. So the next thing is to go ahead and just join the front and the back panel together. So you are going to place the front panel and the back panel of this trouser right side facing each other. Align the crotch first. So once you align the crotch, you pin it down to one side and stitch it to one side. Then you will stitch it down to the other side as well, and go ahead. Then you now go ahead and join the side. All this joining will be with 1/2 inch. So guys, this is what we have after joining our pants together at the side. See how beautiful our palazzo trouser is looking. So the next thing we are going to do now is to measure our waistline, to measure the waist. So I'm going to open up the zipper and just going to measure it round. So make sure you are careful while measuring it. So when I measure it round, whatever measurement I have, I'll use it to cut the waistband. So guys, this is the waistband. The width of this waistband is 5 inches, but I folded in half an inch on both sides, and I fold it into 2 again. So at the end of the day, what we have is 2 inches, and the length is what we have at the waistline by plus extra 1 inch. So I'm just going to join it at each side like the way I just traced it out now. Then I'm just going to open up the zipper. So once I open up the zipper, I will just insert my waist into the band like so, and I will sew it round. So guys, this is the final look of our pants. This is the zipper fly, and we have attached our waist. So this is our pocket. So the next thing I'll do is to go ahead and attach hook or button on this waistline. Then I'm going to go ahead and hem the down parts of our trouser, and I'll give it a good press, and we are done. So thank you so much guys for taking time to watch this tutorial. Please do well to like this video and share this video if you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section if you really learned something from this video. I'll see you in the next one.